Today we're taking a look at Fender's American Professional Classic Telecaster. The Telecaster is my touchstone guitar design, the one I would pick if I could only pick one. 2 pickups, 2 knobs, and a minimalist body outline that is timeless and modern at the same time. Players like Muddy Waters, Keith Richards, Bruce Springsteen, Chrissie Hynde, Merle Haggard, Brad Paisley, and I could go on, have made the Telecaster their guitar of choice. And Fender has produced a lot of iterations of the Telecaster. The American Pro Classic line introduces a high-value, vintage-inspired version that is one of the most affordable options if you're looking for a new American-made Tele. Let's orient ourselves among the different lines in Fender's universe because there are enough of them that it can be a little confusing at first. Everything generally fits into good, better, and best build quality levels, and their prices reflect that. And at each level, there are a few different flavors, from more vintage spec to more modern. Fender's entry level is the Standard series, then you jump up to the Made in Mexico Player 2 series and the Ventura 2 series. From there, you step up into the American-made Fenders with this American Professional Classic series and the 70s-inspired American Performer series. Continuing up the line of American-made Fenders, you can go for the American Professional 2, American Ultra 2, American Vintage 2, and finally the American Ultra Luxe series. Enough of that. Let's take a closer look at this Telecaster. Compared directly to the American Performer and the American Professional 2 Telecasters, this new American Pro Classic Tele leans a little bit more into the vintage styling with cool finishes like this one in faded Sherwood Green Metallic, vintage-style tuners, and Coastline 63 pickups. It's got an alder body, which is a wood that Fender has been using since very early days, and it comes in 6 durable gloss urethane finishes. This beautiful green, plus faded Dakota red, faded Lake Placid blue, faded black, 3-color sunburst, and the classic butterscotch blonde. The maple neck features a modern C shape that fits comfortably in my hand and has a warm vintage tint and a smooth satin urethane finish that really feels nice as you move your fret hand up and down the neck. And it's secured to the body with the traditional 4-bolt neck plate with Fender logo on it. The fretboard is going to be either rosewood on the faded black, Dakota red, and sunburst models, and maple on the other 3 colors. Most seasoned Fender players will tell you that the rosewood boards will impart a slightly warmer tone and the maple boards sound snappier. I'd say that's something you as a player might feel, but that it would be hard to discern in a blind listening test. The fretboard uses a 9.5-inch radius with 22 medium jumbo frets, which invites easier string bends and single note runs than Fender's tighter, vintage 7.25-inch radius. And it's got a synthetic bone nut that lets the strings move smoothly through its slots and has a comfy but spacious 1.685-inch width. And you access the truss rod at the headstock, which means you don't have to take the neck off to adjust the relief like you do on true vintage spec models. I think a big part of the Telecaster sound comes from the way the bridge pickup sits so fixedly in the bridge cutout. I love the Telecaster's control plate, its elegant shape and layout, and the way it fits into the pickguard. You've got your 3-way pickup switch with a barrel-style tip and knurled flat-top master volume and master tone knobs. No labels, no numbers. I love it. The headstock is the classic Tele low-profile 6-in-line with the spaghetti-style Fender logo. Its vintage-style classic gear tuning machines use the venerable and ingenious split-shaft design where you simply stick the end of the string straight down into the hole, give it a 90-degree bend through one side of the shaft, and tighten it up to tune. These tuner shafts have staggered heights, so each string has the optimum behind-the-nut angle for proper tension. These are the Coastline 63 single-coil neck and bridge pickups, which Fender says are slightly overwound to give them a slightly higher output that sounds on the warm side for a Tele. That makes it easy to dial in thick Tele twang when you switch to the bridge position, rich sparkle in the next position, and dimensional chirp with both pickups on when your switch is in the middle position. The tone circuit behind the control plate features Fender's Greasebucket system, which still cuts high frequencies like a traditional tone circuit, but doesn't completely squelch all treble. In practice, that means you can still get a usable tone even when you roll the tone knob all the way down. Let's see how this Telecaster sounds. This is a really nice Telecaster. It'll do everything a Tele should do and then some, thanks to the 63 Coastline pickups and the Greasebucket tone circuit. If the past is any guide, this guitar could outlive you and hold or increase its value over time. It comes with a deluxe gig bag with 3 pockets for your cables, strap, extra strings, cheat sheets, and what have you. And it has a comfortable shoulder strap so you can throw it across your back and grab your amp and get to the gig. If you like this Tele but wish it skewed a bit more modern in terms of features, you should check out the American Professional 2, which has a sculpted neck heel and special electronics with a push-push switch on the tone knob that lets you run both pickups together in 2 different configurations, plus some other modern touches. If you want a more faithful vintage reproduction, you'll want to consider the American Vintage 2 Telecasters, which replicate classic 1951 and 1963 models. In my opinion, this American Pro Classic sits in a pretty sweet spot for what I look for in a great Tele. Great value, specs, and sound with a build quality that I know will stand the test of time. That wraps up our look at the American Professional Classic Telecaster, but if you have questions about anything we've covered or anything we didn't, or if you want to learn anything about other Telecaster options or other Fender guitars, get in touch with us here at Crutchfield today.